DeepSeek just made frontier coding 35 times cheaper. Today, May 24th, the AI coding wars hit a turning point this week. 4 stories. Story 1. DeepSeek made its 75% discount permanent. The price floor for serious coding just collapsed. Story 2. Cursor Composer 2.5 and Qwen 3.7 both match the frontier at 1/10 the cost. Story 3. Anthropic's full roadmap leaked. Opus 4.7, Sonnet 4.8, and a codename Capybara. Story 4. OpenAI's GPT 5.6 canary signals went live. 10 minutes, 9 primary sources, 0 hype. Story 1. The biggest news in AI coding this week is not a model launch, it is a pricing announcement. On May 22nd and 23rd, DeepSeek made its 75% V4 Pro discount permanent. The promotional price became the real price. V4-Flash sits at 14 cents per million input tokens, 28 cents per million output. That is roughly 35 times cheaper than GPT 5.5 and about 100 times cheaper than Claude Opus 4.7 on output. DeepSeek's own API documentation made it official. V4-Flash, 14 cents per million input, 28 cents per million output. V4 Pro at the discount, 43.5 cents per million input, 87 cents per million output. And then the cash pricing change. Cash hit price reduced to 1/10 of launch. V4-Flash cached input now costs 0.0028 per million tokens, a 98% reduction. 35 times cheaper. Read that twice. 35 times cheaper than GPT 5.5 on input, and 90 to 100 times cheaper than Claude Opus 4.7 on output. The per task cost gap between the cheapest serious model and the most expensive one just hit 2 orders of magnitude. That is not a competitive market anymore. That is a pricing collapse. The decoder confirmed the math. DeepSeek's output tokens are priced at least 34 times below GPT 5.5 and approximately 90 times below Claude Opus 4.7 on output. The price was promotional, now it is permanent. The Chinese open weight ecosystem just set the global price floor for serious AI coding. Here is a line worth quoting. The AI coding war is no longer about which model is best. It is about price per task at a given quality threshold. DeepSeek just won that war. Anthropic and OpenAI still hold the absolute frontier on capability, but the frontier is no longer where the volume is. The volume is at 14 cents per million tokens. Story 2. The mid-tier just absorbed the frontier. 2 model launches this week. Cursor Composer 2.5 on May 18th. Qwen 3.7 Max on May 20th and 21st. Both delivered frontier-grade coding benchmarks at sub-frontier prices. The middle of the market is now the most interesting place to ship code. Cursor's own announcement was titled, quote, Introducing Composer 2.5, end quote, built on Moonshot's Kimi K 2.5, SWE-Bench multilingual 79.8%, on par with Claude Opus 4.7, on par with GPT 5.5. Pricing. 50 cents per million input tokens, $2.50 per million output, roughly 1/10 the per task cost of the frontier alternatives. Same benchmark score, 10% of the price. 50 cents per million input tokens, Cursor Composer 2.5, Claude Opus 4.7 costs $5 per million input, GPT 5.5 costs $4 per million. The math is brutal. If Composer 2.5 is good enough for your workflow, you are throwing away 9 out of every $10 on the alternatives. 3 months ago, you had to pay frontier prices. Today, you do not. Then Qwen 3.7 Max, Intelligence Index V4.0 score, 56.6, 5th globally, 1st in China, ahead of Gemini 3.5 Flash, SWE verified 80.4, statistically tied with Claude Opus 4.6 Max at $2.50 per million input. The cheapest 1 million token context window from a frontier ranked lab. The mid-tier did not just match, it overshot. Pay frontier prices only when frontier capability is the bottleneck. For everything else, the new mid-tier is good enough. This is the framework every engineering team needs by next week. Cursor for daily features, Qwen or Composer for batch, DeepSeek for everything cost sensitive. Reserve Claude Opus and GPT 5.5 for the work where you actually need the top of the leaderboard. Story 3. Anthropic's entire next model roadmap just got pulled out into the open by a March 31st CMS leak and an April 14th information exclusive. The contents: Claude Opus 4.7, already released April 16th, Claude Sonnet 4.8, still unreleased as of today, and a mysterious model codenamed Capybara, tied internally to autonomous workflow tooling beyond what is currently shipping in Claude Code. Geeky Gadgets aggregated the reporting. The original source is the information's exclusive briefing from April 14th, built on roughly 3,000 unpublished internal documents from the second wave of Anthropic CMS breach. The leak named Opus 4.7, Sonnet 4.8, and Capybara. Anthropic has never historically shipped a Sonnet 2 minor versions ahead of Opus, so Sonnet 4.8 is the next imminent ship. CNBC covered the Opus 4.7 release April 16th. Anthropic's own positioning was, quote, less broadly capable than Mythos Preview, end quote. The trade-off was deliberate. Lower peak capability, lower risk profile. This is the model Anthropic is willing to put behind enterprise contracts, not the one they show off in research papers. 3,000 internal documents, that is the size of the leak. Roadmap, pricing, model code names, internal team structure, all into the open. The information vetted and published the verifiable subset. The rest is on private back channels. Anthropic has not confirmed Sonnet 4.8 or Capybara publicly, but the documents exist and the release order is now predictable. Story 4. OpenAI's next move is also half-leaked. GPT 5.6 canary signals went live mid-May 2026. The canary endpoints are how OpenAI silently tests upcoming model variants before launch. The community tracks them. Polymarket prices a May release as low probability. June or July as a coin flip. The expected feature set, 1.5 million token context window, Codex UltraFast, sharpened agentic planning, and material improvement in error recovery. Here is the current baseline. OpenAI's own announcement, GPT 5.5 Codex, Terminal Bench 2.0, 82.7%, state-of-the-art SWE-Bench Pro, 58.6%, demo run 1,000 plus sequential tool calls on real engineering tasks, without human intervention. This is the current public ceiling for autonomous coding. GPT 5.6 is rumored to extend it. Chat Forest tracked the canary signals. As of May 23rd, the GPT 5.6 endpoints are returning responses. No public confirmation from OpenAI, no benchmark numbers. Polymarket prediction markets have moved. May release, low probability. June, coin flip. July, 60% plus. The model exists, the launch window is the only question. Here is the meta line. In May 2026, every frontier roadmap is half-leaked. Anthropic's leaked through a CMS breach. OpenAI's leaked through canary endpoints. Information moves faster than the labs do. The surprise factor of a model launch is gone. The next 12 months of AI news will be predictable. The question is execution and pricing, not announcement. Pull it all together. The AI coding stack in late May 2026 looks like this. Cursor in the IDE for daily feature work. Composer 2.5 powers the actions. Claude Code in a terminal for architectural changes and complex refactors. Opus 4.7 powers it. Codex CLI in a second terminal for autonomous batch tasks and long horizon agents. GPT 5.5 powers it, and DeepSeek TUI or API in a third place for anything cost sensitive. Same workflow, 4 tools, different cost profiles, 1 developer. 9 primary sources in this video: DeepSeek official API docs, the decoder, the next web, Cursor's own blog, Office Chai, Geeky Gadgets, aggregating the information, CNBC, Chat Forest, OpenAI's own Codex announcement. Every claim in this video is hyperlinked in the description. Check the math yourself. Builder takeaway: stop paying frontier prices for non-frontier work. Route by task class. Cursor for IDE features. Claude Code for architecture. Codex for autonomous tasks. DeepSeek for cost-sensitive everything. 4 tools, 1 workflow. 10% of the cost of running everything through Opus or GPT 5.5. The labs that do not have a credible cheap tier within 60 days will lose volume. Not relevance, volume. 3 things to watch over the next 30 days. 1. Whether Anthropic and OpenAI cut Claude and GPT pricing in response to DeepSeek. 2. Whether Sonnet 4.8 or GPT 5.6 lands first. The leak says one, the canary says the other. 3. Whether Cursor Composer 2.5 at 50 cents per million tokens triggers an enterprise migration off Copilot. All 3 reset the leaderboard for the year. DeepSeek crashed the price floor, the mid-tier absorbed the frontier, Anthropic's roadmap leaked, OpenAI's next model is half on the canary, 4 stories, 1 coding stack reset. If this is the kind of AI news you want every day, the subscribe button is right here. Watch next. Our breakdown of how an AI just cracked 80-year-old math. For ANN Live, this is AI News Now. Proof, not press releases.